All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Harnessing the Force webinar. And so with this presentation, there will be a Q&A period afterwards. And so if you want to post your questions in the Q&A app, just click on the Q&A button here on the webinar and you can post it there. Also, again, if you guys do have questions that you want to ask through video, then all you have to do is just click the raise hand button once we go into Q&A, and I will add you as a panelist, and you can come on video and audio and ask your question either through myself or Adronis. So Adronis will also be available during the Q&A section of today's, or Q&A segment, I should say, of today's webinar. So we're going to go ahead and get started, as I'm going to be sharing the screen as we have a PowerPoint presentation today. Just as last month's webinar was Reviving Ancient Mastery, this is the second webinar that's going to be picking up where that left off. Next month, there's going to be a third one, so it's kind of like a trilogy that we're seeing here. Next month will be called Body Encryptions, and so we're going to be looking more into encrypting the body, but we'll be talking more about that a little bit later on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here. We'll get started with the presentation. All right, so harnessing the force, techniques to cultivating spiritual immortality. Prenatal force. The Chinese refer to prenatal life force as Jing. Indian traditions refer to it as Kundalini. Jing is an elixir of energies given to us by our parents when we are conceived. It would be the palette of information that we are able to use in constructing our body and personality when inside the womb. This also leads to us inheriting hereditary karma from our parents and their parents before them. Jing cannot be replenished as it represents our vital force. Once it is used up, the physical body will expire. It will perish. Jing is a diluted energy mixed with positive and negative aspects from our lineage. Our task is to refine the Jing so that we can empower and prolong our lives. So Jing is our quote-unquote lifeblood essence. And basically, when we are born, we're getting all of this raw mixture between our mother, our father, our grandparents, their grandparents before them, etc. And it goes down our entire lineage. So if basically our parents or grandparents, for example, led some very heavy emotional lifetimes and did not know how to take care of that energy, then a lot of that energy is going to be modified and mixed into us. And you say, oh yeah, thanks a lot, mom and dad, that's great. But that's primarily how it works, is that they're taking all of their Jing, all of their essence, everything that makes them themselves, and it's being melded into this soup, this blending, this brew. And this brew becomes our prenatal life force. And so our job is being able to become very, very familiar with our own thought patterns, with our own emotional patterns, with our own mental patterns, our personality, to help clean up this prenatal life force that has just been this raw compound, this raw essence between our family, between our parents and the parents before them. So this is kind of coming to the point where we're actually cleaning up our own lineage by working upon ourselves, because what's happening is that as we start to refine ourselves with the prenatal life force, we start to work on our emotions, we start to improve our patterns, we start to develop a personality that is much more empowering, helping ourselves, helping others. Then we're going to actually start to refine that Jing energy so that generations that come through you will have this state of purification as well. What you're also doing karmically is you're also helping the family line, because as we are all connected, as we are all one, interconnected together with each other, your energy that you are doing through your own work is actually helping to change their own DNA as well too, helping to change their own energy. They won't experience it as vividly as you will, but there are constructs that are being created through your own means of improving yourself, of being able to refine your nature. And so that is actually going to be impacted throughout the entire family line as well too, just not as intensely or as vividly as what you're going through. So again, Jing is what is referred to in the Chinese traditions, and this is Kundalini energy. So basically, Jing is very much dormant in our body if we don't do anything with it. It basically represents our vitality. It represents our sexual energy as well too. So if we do nothing with that particular energy, or if we continue to abuse it, then that aspect of Jing is only going to continue to be contaminated. And again, if we procreate, we're bringing more of that contaminated Jing into our children, into future generations as well too. So the whole key here is being able to manage and govern the Jing within your body so that it can be purified and become remodified, refined, so that we are now able to work with our family lines, work with our future generations, but most importantly, helping ourselves in developing the person that we want to be. It is actually quite simple to help develop the prenatal force into an area of harmony, rather than being able to feel that it lays dormant and we do nothing with it, and we continue to be at the mercy of this contamination that has come through our lineages. And then there is post-natal force: chi, ki, prana, mana, life energy. The force that powers our body through breath, food, water, and nature. The key to intaking pure postnatal force comes from deep breathing, sun gazing, being in nature, drinking pure water, and pure organic foods. Circulating the force through your body using physical exercises such as yoga, qigong, tai chi, martial arts. Could probably be a few others in there as well too, but this is the basic idea. Now, basically, when we're working with postnatal force, it's not about doing so much strenuous energy exercises, right? It's not about feeling that you need to go on sprinting, sprinting marathons or anything like that. That can actually burn a lot of chi. It's important that you're also not going into excessive temperature areas that may be too hot or too cold. That too burns out a lot of chi. Basically, if there's an area where you're living that's actually very, very cold, and you work with your chi to help keep yourself warm, then that's a different idea. But basically, if you're going into a sauna and staying in there for excessive amounts of periods, also if you're doing a lot of hot yoga, I don't want to offend any of the hot yoga fans, but you're burning a lot of chi by doing that. Basically, the whole idea of like the sweat lodges, the hot yoga, you're really exhausting a lot of chi out of your body because your body is working so hard to try and keep you cool in that way. So anything in moderation would be all right, but if it's done very, very regularly, this is actually going to have a lot more detrimental impact upon your postnatal chi than anything else, simply because, again, we're putting so much process and so much dependency upon the body to try and keep us cool in that particular way. And doing this for excessive amounts of periods is actually going to damage the body. So it's very important that we're not going out into the extreme as it relates to working with our energy body. Our whole intention here is that when we're working with postnatal force, not only is it helping to refine the Jing energy within ourselves, but it's creating a cushioning layer. If you actually have a very large cushioned layer of postnatal chi within your body, this is actually the effect that's going to create longevity, because your body is now receiving the resources from the energy pool of the postnatal force rather than having to go into the prenatal. So think of it as two oceans in that way. You have an ocean of Jing. If there is no ocean of postnatal force or postnatal chi, basically your body is going to take all of the necessary vital resources from that big ocean of Jing. Now, we do have quite a bit of Jing energy, but once that Jing is used up, it cannot be resupplied. You can't get more of it. You have a certain amount throughout your entire life, and once that amount is used up, the body will expire. It will retire. It will perish. So the whole idea here is what a lot of the ancient Chinese and the ancient Indian traditions have discovered, is that when they're building up their own prana or chi, they're basically creating a cushioned layer. So it's, again, kind of like looking at two layers of ocean. So we have the Jing ocean right here, and we have the chi ocean right above it. When we start supplying the body with all of this necessary postnatal chi, then we're creating this enormous layer. Now the body can take all of that resources, and it doesn't even have to touch the Jing essence. So the Jing essence, or the Kundalini, stays completely intact. This is how, again, a lot of ancient Chinese martial artists, Qigong masters, yogis, etc., have been able to have such very long lives because they have cushioned so much of their body with chi or prana. And so that is that extra ocean that's sitting right on top of the Jing or Kundalini energy. And that is what's developing all the processes, helping with the vitality of the body, is using that second origin, is using that reserve body through the idea of your chi that is coming in through a lot of the simple exercises that we'll be talking about today. So again, it's all about subtlety. This is again what the Chinese knew very, very well, because if you're looking into something like Kung Fu, like Wing Chun in that sense, it's all subtle movements. Nothing is strenuous. When you're looking into Qigong, it's all subtle moves. Nothing is strenuous. Nothing is exhausting you in that way. Or Tai Chi, again, nothing is strenuous, right? So being able to look into those forms, there's even certain degrees of yoga that are meant to be done subtly. The Western world really makes this into a rigorous exercise, and that's not really the entire point of yoga. The entire point of yoga was balancing yourself, was being able to align yourself as an antenna and actually being able to communicate with your body, communicate with nature, communicate with the universe through the idea of these postures that would help to align your body. It's an inner alchemy in that form. But basically, when we get into these rigorous power exercises with yoga, it turns into this intense workout, and that wasn't yoga's original purpose. It is what it is. It has been developed that way, and maybe people see some benefits through that. That's fine, but that wasn't the original intention of yoga. It is meant to be a subtle art form, very much like Tai Chi, very much like Qigong in those forms. So being able to develop a good diet as well too is very important as well. We're not just going to feel that we're going to have a lot of post-natal chi when we start eating hamburgers from McDonald's or Burger King or anything like that. We want to make sure that we're eating fresh organic foods. Even going on a raw diet can be very helpful. I've actually done that not too long ago, having a raw diet and just going completely vegan, raw food. And it helped a lot. It really boosted a lot of great energy. You just feel really vitalized. You're drinking fresh, pure water. You're drinking natural spring water. And that's helping to, again, oxygenate the body. That's helping to bring all the chi in as well, too. So the air that you breathe as well, too. Making sure that you're not such a shallow breather, that you're being able to fill your lungs, empty your lungs with each breath. Adronis has talked about this in the past as well, too, is doing just at least 30 minutes of deep breathing each day. And if you feel you want to put that in 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening, that's fine. It's usually good to do it all together at once. But if you feel you need to break it apart because maybe you have a busy day and you can't breathe, well, then go ahead. But if you can do it together in a 30-minute interval, that would certainly be a recommendation. So postnatal force acts as the bridge to transmute prenatal force into refinement, giving our bodies more natural energy. It increases daily energy, so you feel a lot more vitalized when you start bringing postnatal chi into yourself. It increases your memory. You'll start to remember a lot more things again. It'll improve emotional states. It'll help you become more creative. It improves cognitive and precognitive abilities, psychic enhancement. It will also assist with longevity. You'll just feel alive again. You're basically feeling like you're living in between two worlds. The physical world that is just feeling so much more flexible and malleable, and the spiritual world where you'll have connections with these spiritual entities, with these spiritual forms of consciousness, where you can actually tap into certain things and start communicating with the consciousness of trees, communicating with the consciousness of nature. Start bringing intentions to connect with elementals, connecting with extraterrestrial intelligence, extra dimensionals, etc. This happens, and this refines your body so that it becomes a pure crystalline vessel, and it's receiving all of this incredible information. You become this universal encyclopedia, and you start just tapping into the natural records, the Akashic records of the universe. And you can just start receiving this form of instantaneous information because you've worked so strongly with purifying your body, keeping your body very, very strong, healthy, and increasing its longevity. So it is possible, for a person who may not have much maintenance to still do a lot of these things, but basically a lot of these things are capable by bringing in a much more improved state of being with yourself. The physical body is an instrument. It is a vessel. It is a crystal. So the more that you are able to take good care of that crystal, the more effective it's going to be in bringing a lot of these transmissions in. But yes, there's certainly people in that sense who are still working upon themselves, who again have phenomenal psychic ability and all that. but they may notice that there's some health problems that may be slowing them down, and that there may be, again, rigorous processes that they're having trouble coping with. So basically, the whole idea here is the more that you just take care of your body to the best of your ability, exercise it in a good form of way, that you're not exhausting yourself, you're not burning yourself out, but you're giving yourself a good amount of exercise to allow the movement of the body, the contorting of the body, to open up the channels, the meridian centers within your body, and allowing this chi energy to flow through. Okay, and basically, it is emotion that is what's causing a lot of these kinks in the body. In fact, I've had quite a lot of people that have come up to me and said, Brad, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I'm getting these really huge pains in my side or in my arm, my shoulder. And I go to a doctor, they do all these full checks on me. There's nothing wrong with me physically. Everything is in good shape, yet I'm still hurting. What's going on? Your energy meridians, your passageways are blocked. It's kind of like seeing an energetic clamp being placed upon your energy body, around the meridians, around the nadi veins in that sense. And when this happens, this is what's causing a lot of atrophy to take place within your own chi network, your own meridian network. And basically, this is all part of emotional states. Sometimes it can do with relationship relationship breakups, lack of self-value, abandonment, rejection, etc. All of these emotions impact us severely. And if we're not able to realize that a lot of these emotions are coming in and causing a lot of this havoc, then we may just still rely upon the physical doctor and say, "Hey, doctor, can you give me something for this, because I feel like my side's in pain and I want to nip this in the bud." But they say, "There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing we can do. Everything appears normal," right? So this is where you need to work with energy medicine, right? You're bringing chi into yourself. You're working with your emotions. You're bringing yourself into a higher love vibration. So I've talked about this a lot as it relates to emotional healing. And that would be the next step. If you feel that there is nothing that is coming through physically, then this is an emotional issue. And again, about 90 to 95% at least of the issues that we experience on a daily basis that are causing stagnancy within ourselves is emotional. So that's something to keep in mind. Transmuting prenatal force. Work on deep breathing. Move the diaphragm and empty the lungs. Recommended to do this for 30 minutes each day for effective results. Now, some people have also talked about doing it 5 or 10 minutes a day. That's true. It can be good if you're doing it for 5 or 10 minutes, but you're not really reaping the full benefit. We're looking at the entire body here, making sure that the body is being fully replenished with all of the necessary chi that it requires. And so that would basically best be effective through up to 30 minutes of deep breathing per day. It's not a very complicated thing. It's not something that's strenuous either. It really is just man, that was killing me. I have to do that for 30 minutes a day. God almighty. That's it. It's basically 7 seconds of breath in, pause for a brief second, 7 seconds of breath out. That's all you're doing. If you're reading a book, if you're looking on the computer, whatever it is you're doing, you're just basically doing those simple deep breathing exercises. 7 seconds, breathe in through the nose. 7 seconds, breathe out through the mouth, or you can breathe out through the nose as well too. And what you're doing is you're breathing through the diaphragm, but we're going to be getting into that in just a couple of minutes. Bellows breath or reverse breathing can help to cultivate post-natal force into the lower dantian. So bellows breath is basically another word that can be referred to as dragon's breath as well too, or another term I should say. And that basically is focusing on the diaphragm, and what you're doing is you're always focusing on the exhale. But again, we're going to look into that very shortly. And of course, there is reverse breathing. Reverse breathing is very, very intense, so we don't do it as much as we would like a bellows breath or just the common deep breathing in and deep breathing out. When you're reverse breathing, basically, when we normally breathe in and breathe out, when we breathe in, we're feeling the abdomen expand. As we breathe out, we're feeling the abdomen contract. Basically, we're doing the opposite when we're doing reverse breathing. And what that does is that actually supplies a very strong amount of chi into the lower dantian. But again, more on that in a bit. Emotional energy cultivation and sexual energy cultivation as well. So Emotional energy and sexual energy are basically dormant energy centers within our body, or energy suppliers within our body, that can bring us an incredible amount of refined chi into our body once we're able to transmute it. So again, a lot of people upon this planet are abusing a lot of the sexual energy. They go to porn, and they go into excessive masturbation, where it moves into ejaculation, and they just want to get their fix. It becomes a drug addiction in that way. It's really no more different than a heroin addict or a crack addict that basically needs their fix. And so they will go and they'll check out these porn sites, and they'll start fapping until they finally hit the spot, right? They get to the point of no return, and then they're exhausted, and it completely deplenishes everything within their body. So basically, it's like a dopamine fix, right? That's the whole idea, is you get hooked on it like a drug in that way, and then your whole body just becomes completely drained with any particular form of vital energy. You just want to sleep afterwards and conk out and have no motivation to do anything, no actions, nothing like that. You just feel like a lump of jelly in that way. So we're going to be working more on the idea of how sexual energy and emotional energy can be harnessed and cultivated into energy that you can use to really revitalize the body and improve a lot of functions and capabilities within us. Then there is the microcosmic and macrocosmic orbit and palm chakra activation. So last month I talked about the microcosmic orbit through reviving ancient mastery. We're going to be looking into that again, but we're also going to be looking into the macrocosmic orbit, as well as working with the palm chakras and using palm chakra activation on a daily basis. It's actually going to make your hands almost feel like they have eyes within them. And so we're going to be working on that today. Drinking 8 to 10 glasses of pure or natural spring water per day, as talked about earlier. A healthy diet of organic, vegan, or raw food. Again, this is all part of being able to get the essential nutrients into the body, making sure that everything we're putting into the body can be completely utilized as chi. So that is where a lot of the organic, vegan, or raw food comes together. It is true that there are certain vegetables that may not have the greatest form of effects because of their raw form, because of cell walls. So it is true that there are certain vegetables that can be cooked to basically extract a lot of those minerals out of the cell walls, out of the food itself, so that you can then consume it, and you're getting all the nutrients in that way. Because sometimes digestion, when we're eating certain types of raw food, some of these vegetables in that sense cannot have the extraction through digestion, through the cell walls, to actually receive a lot of the chi that we need to actually receive the building of the second ocean in that way. So that can be true at times, but it's really just being able to do some research on that. There's different points of view as it relates to that. Raw foodists will basically say, no, all you need is raw food. And maybe people who are more vegan or vegetarian will say, no, it's good to cook some of these foods at times, because then you're extracting some of the minerals that the body needs, etc. It's a big debate. So I basically say, well, you kind of look at it from the middle ground. There are certain foods that can be cooked a little bit better and consumed, and making sure that you're getting all the essential nutrients. But it doesn't have to be a political game. And that's what I always suggest with diet, is don't make it a political debate in regards to the type of food you eat. It's not meant to be so complicated. It's okay to eat raw food. It's okay to eat cooked vegetables in that way at times. Find a happy medium between the two. It's not life or death here. As long as you're eating, that's the most important part. And eating as healthy as you can possibly allow yourself to eat. All right, so moving on. So now we're going to look into deep breathing. So practice this deep breathing, where you breathe in for 7 seconds, hold for 1 second, and breathe out for 7 seconds. Remember to breathe in through your diaphragm. So let's try that now, just wherever you are right now. Just being able to get yourself nice and comfortable. So you guys got a printer back here, so I'm trying not to bump into it. Just get yourself nice and comfortable. Now, you're not able to see my diaphragm from the shot where I'm at, but just being able to look at the image here in the slide, where we're basically looking into the diaphragm. Okay, and we're just going to take a slow, deep breath in. As you're breathing in, making sure that you're sucking in that diaphragm, sucking in the abdomen, holding it just for a second. Breathe out for 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you want to make sure you're emptying your lungs altogether during that 7 seconds. So you're filling your lungs through the abdomen, the diaphragm breathing, 7 seconds, pausing for 1 second, breathing out, emptying your lungs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it. That's all it really takes. Just keep doing that again for 30 minutes per day, and you're going to be amazed at the kind of energy you're going to have. Second, we're going to practice the bellows breath, or the breath of fire, a total of 36 times. So I'm just going to demonstrate it first before we go to the 36. So it's very, very simple. All it is okay. All you're doing is focusing on the exhale. Don't even worry about the inhale. Okay, so when you're doing this bellows breath, you're doing this deep breathing, what you want to do is, I'll see if I can stand up here for a sec just so you can see me, is you want to just take, for men, use the left hand and place it down just below the belly button, around the navel, just like that. For women, take the right hand, place it down with the left hand over top, like this, okay? Okay, and you're just beginning the bellows breath like that. So that is a Qigong martial arts form as well too, placing the hand as it is a polarized aspect of aligning yourself to the lower Dan Qin when you are doing this type of breathing work, okay? So you can go ahead and do that. So men, left hand over the navel, right hand over it. Women, right hand over the navel, left hand over it, okay? So let's go ahead and let's practice this for 36 times. Are you ready? Let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Stop. Go back to normal breathing. All right. Whew, that was even hard for me to catch up with just by counting it out. So this is, again, all we're doing on a daily basis. Do 36 bellows breaths just once a day. That's all you have to do. And again, you're feeling that the Dan Qin, the lower Dan Qin, the area just below the navel. You may start to feel like it's quite warm right now, right? So just that little area, about 3 fingers lengths below the belly button and 1 finger length inside, all right? And that would be the position of the lower Dan Qin, which is the elixir field, which is basically where our Jing energy is stored. And so that is where, when we're doing the bellows breath, we're bringing in post-natal qi to help refine that area of the Jing, okay? So deep breathing, 7 seconds in, 1 second, hold, 7 seconds out. Bellows breath 36 times, okay? So you're doing the deep breathing for 30 minutes a day, bellows breath 36 times, just that one set. If you want to do more, go for it. So the next thing we're going to do is practice reverse breathing, a total of 12 times. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll demonstrate this as well too. So when we're doing normal breathing, it's just okay. So what we're doing now is, rather than it, causing the in-breath to expand the belly, we're going just like that, okay? It's all abdominal breathing, okay? So now you're inverting the breath. So now you're pulling in the abdomen as you're breathing in, you're pulling out the abdomen as you're breathing out. So I'm gonna go ahead and count to 12, and we'll all do that together. Okay, let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and stop. So we're only doing this 12 times simply because this is a very intense exercise. When we're doing reverse breathing, we're basically doing something that the body is not naturally accustomed to, and so it can become very intense. Reverse breathing has been known to cause lightheadedness. So once you feel lightheaded, stop reverse breathing and go back to normal breathing. A lot of Qigong masters will also say if you do perform reverse breathing, do it very, very lightly, right? Just do it in very small doses because it can be very, very intense. If you're doing like 36 reverse breaths, that's actually going to feel more intense than the bellows breath because, again, you're changing the oxygen cycle, the intake cycle of the breath when you're pushing the belly in and you're pushing the belly out. And that's going to cause, you know, some intensity with the oxygen supply that comes into the body, because basically what you're doing is you're kind of like causing like an accordion push here. All of that energy that's coming in, all of that breath that's coming in is being pushed like an accordion and diverted directly into the lower Danshin, rather than having all this space within the sea of qi, which represents the belly region in that way. And what you're doing is you're compressing that like an accordion, and it's kind of like a funnel, and that funnel goes right into the lower Danshin. So it's very, very effective for qi cultivation. But again, you're doing it in very small doses. It's very, very intense if you start doing it a lot more. Okay. So moving on, those are just some simple exercises you guys can practice. And again, I recommend doing all three of these exercises once a day. Okay. Cultivating emotional force. Your emotions contain a powerful amount of post-natal qi. When we are able to harmonize the emotions, we can use the energy to store into our body. Organs, glands, cells, chakras, and danshins. This is where we're basically taking emotional energy and being able to place it directly into our organs, into our body, and actually getting a lot more reserve energy that's now becoming brought into our capability. The key is to build up a large amount of positive, loving energy stronger than the negative emotion within you. Okay? So what we're doing is we're creating a transmutation. Now, basically what we're going to be doing here very shortly is a miniature version of light circuitry attunements version 2. So it's a very miniature version of it. So we'll be getting into that in a minute. Sense a negative emotion within you if you can. Once you have found it within an area of your body, impose a golden ball of energy upon it. Okay, so this is why you're seeing this golden orb here in the right side. And I just want to say, if anybody does have any questions, please just leave it until Q&A. We're going to be getting into Q&A here after the presentation, so I'll take everybody's questions after that. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up for that. Okay, so again, this is why you're seeing this golden ball of energy in this little photo here in the presentation. So basically, what I want you guys to do right now is just take a moment. Okay, just take again a few deep breaths in, the 7 seconds in, the 1 second hold, 7 seconds out. Okay, I'm just going to give everybody a minute. Just want you to start oxygenating your body again with the full deep breath in and the full deep breath out. I just want you to feel like that oxygen that's coming into your body is functioning like a scanner, and it's just scanning your body from the bottom of your feet all the way up to the top of your head. So just continue to oxygenate yourself and follow that energy, follow the oxygen that's now transmuting into qi. And just imagine that you're taking that energy and you're putting it all the way down to the bottom of your feet, right to the tips of your toes. And just imagining that you're starting to do this slow sweep as you continue to breathe in and breathe out. You're just scanning your body. How is your body feeling? Is there any areas within your body that you feel are tense, that you feel are heavy, that require your attention? Okay, just moving that energy up past the legs, up to the waist, up to the abdomen, up to the chest, running up to the back, the shoulders, the arms, the fingertips, moving up to your neck, up to your face, around the ears, up to the top of the head. So being able to do that scan, just being aware of any particular discrepancy that may be felt within the body. For example, maybe you're feeling something heavy in the solar plexus or something in the root chakra. So basically, we just want to identify where that is in the body. Okay. So if we feel, okay, let's say, for example, there's something very heavy in the solar plexus. So I'm basically kind of like creating a pinpoint, and I'm just targeting that area within the solar plexus. So what we're going to do is we're going to impose a golden ball of energy, just like what you see here in this picture. We're going to see a golden ball just being imposed over that area through the example of the solar plexus. With this golden ball, go into your perfect space and encapsulate all of your loving, positive energy into this ball. Make the positive energy stronger than the negative energy. So I want you just to imagine like you're going inside the consciousness of this golden ball of light, and that this is taking you into a perfect space. And I just want you to see yourself inside your own heaven right now. And that the environment that you see is absolutely perfect. The people that may be in this environment are perfect reflections of yourself. Everything you see, smell, taste, touch, and hear is in a state of absolute beauty, absolute perfection. Even the air that you breathe in this dimension is perfect, is beautiful, is just the purest breath of fresh air you can imagine. And I just want you to imagine that you're opening up the pores of your skin as you're breathing in this fresh air in this new dimension. As you open up the pores of your skin, you're just imagining that all this love energy, this perfect energy within your space, is now completely bonding together with your body. It's going inside and it's filling you with this harmonious, loving energy from head to toe. And as this happens, I want you to imagine that you're taking all of that love energy and you're converging it into this golden ball of energy. So you're putting all of that love energy right into this golden ball. This golden ball is absorbing all of that love energy. And as it does, it starts to feel brighter, starts to feel larger, much more illuminated as you're putting all of this love energy into this ball. So just taking all of that love, all of that perfection, all of this complement of yourself, making that ball bigger and bigger and brighter and brighter. So you're fueling it with your love, your joy, and your compassion, and your forgiveness. Now it's just an enormous golden ball of energy. And now I want you to imagine that that golden ball has a tether that's connected directly into the source that you're feeling is causing that discrepancy within your body. Maybe again, that heaviness feeling or soreness or an ache. I just want you to imagine that a tether is coming out of the golden ball and it's just connecting directly to that source. And so I want you now to imagine that that golden ball is absorbing all of that pain energy or that heavy energy directly into itself. Okay? So it's cycling that pain energy directly into its own sun. Okay? So this is what this golden ball is. It's a sun. And it's just taking all of that pain energy through the tether and just absorbing it into its matrix. And just follow your breath. Just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Just allow that pain energy to go. Allow that heavy energy to go. Don't attach to it. And just feel that energy being lifted from that spot within your body, coming through the tether and being absorbed into this golden ball of light. We're just going to do this for a few more seconds. And just feel that area of your body now becoming clear, becoming lighter, becoming softer. And again, we'll just take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. And now we're feeling this golden ball. How are you feeling right now, right? That's something we can talk about in the Q&A. But just being able to feel this golden ball of energy right now. And as you've absorbed it, I want you to imagine that this tether that is connected to that area of your body, feel the positive energy that has been absorbed into this ball of energy and funneling all of that energy of the positive into that once negative area within this particular spot. So it may not be an organ, but it may just be a spot within your body. Now just start to replenish it back with this positive energy. So basically how you determine that is you look into this ball and you feel, how does this ball feel? Does it feel very, very positive? Yes, it does. Is there any negativity that's in that area that I once felt? No, it feels completely gone. Good. And even if there's a little bit left, that's okay too, right? So if it's a scale from 0 to 10, and if it was, say, for example, a 9, and you're funneling all this energy into it, and you're looking into yourself right now and saying, yeah, that's about a 1 right now. Good, that's fine. As long as it's down to a 1, you can now start to bring all of that positive energy in. And what will happen is that positive energy will overtake that little last bit of negative energy altogether, because the positive energy completely overwhelms it, right? So you're, again, just feeling like a tether that's still connected to you. Feel all that positive energy from this golden ball flowing directly back into that spot to where the tether connects. If that's an organ, or if that's just a spot in your body, that's a chakra center or a Dan Qian, just flow it back in, putting that positive energy in. So just take deep breaths as you're doing this. Nice and soft exhale. Deep breath in. Soft exhale. Deep breath in. Soft exhale. Feeling all of that positive energy through the tether, channeling back into that spot. And just keep doing this until you feel that 100% of that positive energy has now been formed back into that spot. Okay, so sometimes for people that may take a couple minutes. So you can continue to do this as I continue to share the presentation here. So basically that golden ball basically is absorbing all of that positive energy, and you may feel like a frame of it remains. It's kind of like if we have a golden outline, like a golden circle, and all of the essence that was taken from that circle, that was the positive energy, is now inside you. So if you feel that hollow frame of the sphere, then you're just pushing that into yourself as well too. Okay, and then you're just imagining that you're sealing it. Okay, so basically just turning your hand like this, just like you're turning a lock, or you can do a spiral. Okay, so just a single spiral seal. Okay? You can do that as well. Okay? So turn it like a lock or spiral, whichever way you like to do it. And it would be a counterclockwise spiral. Okay, so for me, this would be a going this way, okay, on me. So create a single loop counterclockwise spiral, place your hand on your area, say out loud, seal. Okay? And that's going to seal the ball of energy into your body. How do you feel? Right? That's it. You basically just added all of this new energy into yourself by harnessing part of your pain body and transmuting it into positive energy. Now you have probably about 10 times more energy from what was causing that pain to actually now support your vitality now. You basically transformed it into post-natal chi, and now that'll start working with your body. You created some cushioning with that second ocean that's over top of the Jing. So congratulations, very good. All right, let's move on. Working with sexual force. Move my picture there we go. Working with sexual force. Now, obviously, I'm not going to get people to do sexual energy practices through this, but this is just going to give you a bit of a heads up as it relates to sexual energy. So Jing Kundalini represents our sexual energy within the body. When harnessed with natural love and affection of self and your partner, this powerful energy can also be used in amplifying and rejuvenating your body. As shared in Reviving Ancient Mastery, sexual energy has been the key in becoming the elixir for spiritual immortality. Egypt, Atlantis, a lot of these ancient civilizations were all about harnessing sexual energy to experience spiritual immortality, right? So that was the nature of a lot of their connection, these ancient alchemists. It's what we can become as well too. As you work with orgasm, you learn to channel the energy past the genitals and into other areas of your body. Ejaculation and orgasm become distinguishable, and orgasm becomes your elixir for greatly improving your body, mind, and spirit. So I'll give kind of a summary exercise you guys can do. Obviously, I don't want you guys, experimenting too much when we're doing the presentation. But basically, whether you are deciding to do this with yourself or with your partner is entirely up to you, but it can work both ways in that way. So basically, what you're doing is you're just getting into the habit, and especially I would say this for men, we have to get in the habit of really loving and appreciating our bodies as much as women do. Right? So when women are having their baths, they're having the candle lights, and they're just honoring and pleasuring their body, men, we have to do the same thing as well too. So it's like, oh, you want me to have a bubble bath? Oh, it's not very manly. Well, actually, yes, I would recommend that. We're like, okay, I'm unsubscribing. I'm getting the hell out of here. Just hear me out firstly. It's very important that we are, really starting to appreciate our body, rather than feeling that we need some type of sexual fix, that we need to give so much of our attention to our partner because our partner is quote unquote smoking hot and beautiful, and we want to give all our energy to her. Well, that's nice of you, but start to really see how the value of yourself comes together here. So when you're working with your partner, you want to talk to her about this and saying that, I want to get into this sexual energy practice with you. I want us to do this together, right? And just being able to share that this is something mutually that you want to do. And you're honoring yourselves, right? So you're basically doing a 50-50 here, right? You're putting 50% into the honoring of your own body and your own sexual energy. You're then putting 50% of the honoring and appreciation into your partner's body and sexual energy as well too. So it is basically these two hemispheres that are coming together, okay? When we're basically looking into self-pleasuring in that way, we want to put 100% of our energy into the appreciation of our body, our heart, our mind, our spirit, right? So we're just giving that appreciation. So yes, this does involve masturbation, right? So basically, if you're in the tub or wherever it is you want to do it, right? You're basically getting into that mood and you're getting into the arousal of really just appreciating yourself. And some people may decide to take like an image of a beautiful woman or whatever it is just to get themselves aroused. Well, all right, if that's what you want to do. But basically, you're just working with the genital region and being able to get it stimulated, to get it aroused, right? To get it erect. And then you're just tuning into yourself and feeling the energy, the sexual energy about how you appreciate yourself. Get into the mindset, just like we did in that extra dimensional exercise where we went inside the golden ball and we went into that perfect space. Well, create a perfect space with your body, right? Feel that it's good to actually touch your body, to actually feel the energy that flows through your body. Look into the idea of it becoming a temple, into becoming this beautiful palace, right? And you're just getting into that new dimension, and you feel your soul, you feel your heart, you feel your body, you feel your mind, all connected into this state of beautiful energy, right? And you're making this energy into a part of yourself, how much you appreciate yourself. Some people may replay their sexual encounters with other people, with other partners in the past, that's fine. But you're focusing on how that affected you, right? If you're basically seeing your partner and you're having maybe this tantric experience in the past where you're no longer together, but it was something that was really beautiful to you, don't worry so much about how that appeased your ex-partner. Look into it about how it appeased you, right? Look into how everything affected yourself and just channel 100% of that energy, right? If you're having some amazing tantric experiences, focus on you. Don't worry about your ex-partner there right now, because this is a self-pleasuring time. This is for you to harness the sexual energy, right? Then we have a scale from 0 to 10, okay? So the rule here, basically, don't go past the point of no return, all right? So we're not looking to ejaculate here. We're not looking to, shoot the load and then game over and then we conk out, right? That's not what we're attempting to do here. We're attempting to reach orgasm. And women, same thing with you. All you're basically doing is surfing in between orgasm, right? So basically we're just looking for the 6, 7, and 8 on the scale, okay? I would say probably not going any higher than 8.5. If you're going into 9, you're kind of risking it. You're gonna go into the red there a little bit, right? So for men and for women is just being able to have that self-pleasure time, see a scale within your mind, and just going in between that good fine balance between 6 and 8 on the scale, right? And this is helping you to reach orgasm. So basically you're just hitting a small jolt may feel a sensation around the genitals or maybe around the areas of the organs. Whenever you're feeling it's that great pleasure rush, and again, you're maybe saying, oh, it's about a 7.5 on the scale. Good. Stop what you're doing. Once you're doing that, you're just going to take your hands and you're just rubbing that energy up your body. Okay, so you're basically just pushing that energy up throughout your body, okay, and rubbing it. So you're basically directing the qi, or directing, I should say, the jing energy. And you're directing the jing energy up through the body, and it's kind of like a waterfall. So as you're pushing it up, then that energy is going to start raining down. It's going to start raining down your organs. So you're going to start raining down your dan chins, etc. So basically, it's kind of like taking a piece of butter on toast, taking a butter knife and spreading it on the bread, right? So you're just getting all of these areas covered in refined jing energy, okay? So you can do this quite a few times until you feel you've done it enough. Some people could do it for half an hour, 2 hours, who knows? But you're basically orgasming, right? You're not ejaculating. You're not hitting the point of no return. So you're staying within that 6, 7, 8 region within the scale, right? So you're kind of staying within the yellow in that way. And then we're basically just pushing this energy all throughout the body, and we're just letting it drip down, just letting it settle into the areas of the body, okay? So ejaculation and orgasm become distinguishable, and orgasm becomes your elixir for greatly improving your body, mind, and spirit. So that's basically what we're attempting to do. And I'm not saying that people can't ejaculate anymore. If you're basically looking to have sex with a partner and it's procreation that's on your mind, then yeah, then you can definitely ejaculate. That's up to you. It's basically that we are moderating that particular feeling. It's really good that it all depends upon ages, right? For a young guy or young girl, early 20s in that sense, and you want to, go into that level, that's fun. But basically, as we start to get older, in our 30s and 40s, it's basically saying that maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, that the aspect of ejaculation can happen. But the more that you have the ability to not even use ejaculation at all, the more that you are preserving your jing, right? Because your jing essence is what's going. It's that sustenance. It's the idea of the sperm that is being released, and that is the chemicals of the light body, or the chemicals of the jing essence body, right? That's coming out of you in that sense. And the more that we continue to do this like a drug, and getting our fix, then we're just basically just completely depleting the energy of that vast jing kundalini ocean, right? And even if you have a lot of cushioning within your chi, doesn't matter, right? You can have a huge ocean of chi here. Basically, when we ejaculate, that immediately goes into the jing essence. That goes into the bottom layer, right? And that's what's coming out. So for men, it's basically reduce your ejaculation. For women, it's basically regulating your own menstrual cycles and making sure that you're not getting so stressed out and causing heavy menstrual cycles every month. Being able to really lighten yourself, and the more lighter the effect of that menstrual cycle, then the more that you're in that alignment to keep it together, right? Again, I'm not a woman, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But according to a lot of the ancient traditions, that's basically how it is for women, is women are basically looking to regulate their menstrual cycles, making sure it's not too off, making sure it's not too heavy, because basically a lot of these heavy aspects of menstrual cycles are a result of emotional despair, a lot of emotional imbalances. So the more that you start to balance your emotions out, the idea of the menstrual cycle will actually start to change into not so much of an intense experience. It's a tally-up point, right? So very much like we have the moon cycles of the Earth, going up into full moon, we go through these tally-up points, we release all of these emotional states that are coming through us. But when someone is feeling that they're really balancing their emotions really well, they're doing a great job of self-maintenance, of taking care of themselves really well, they will not be affected at all based upon those emotional states. That's actually true in my case. I've had some pretty intense emotional states in the past, but just this last month from a previous full moon, I was ecstatic. I was just in joy, and it felt so good. And everybody else around me was like, oh my God, Brad, I feel like crap, and it's awful. And then we start working on them, and then we find out that there's a lot of built up emotional states that are coming out, right? And again, this will affect a woman's own menstrual cycle, right? So if there's a lot of built up emotions in you, you're feeling just like, hell on earth, then then you're going to get these irregular states of menstrual cycles and heavy menstrual cycles as well too. So for men, it's managing the ejaculation. For women, it's managing menstrual cycles. Okay, that's basically how it works for both genders. Okay, so that again is an exercise you can do, right? Just moving the purified, refined Jing, because basically it becomes purified when we put love into it. Here's when you do not refine Jing, when you see it as a lust form. It's still very, very lustful, when you're still only focusing on the physical, when you're only trying to get a fix in that way, right? Then that's basically not causing the Jing itself to become refined. It becomes refined through the purity of love, right? So if you're in a state of mind where you're honoring your body, you're respecting yourself, you're loving who you are, you honor your body, your mind, your heart, your spirit, and you feel that orgasm coming together and you're pushing it up, now you're refining that Jing very, very well. So making sure that you're putting that appreciation, honor, and respect towards yourself, and as well as with your partner as well too. So when you have a partner and you're doing this together, making sure that there's that mutual energy of love between both parties. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to be looking into the microcosmic and macrocosmic orbit. Okay, so again, as I talked about last month in Reviving Ancient Mastery, about the microcosmic orbit. So basically, we see here on the left the agenda. Well, I won't say end agenda. The cycle, I should say. I don't know where agenda came from. The cycle as it relates to the microcosmic orbit. So basically what we're doing is we're starting within the lower Dantian region. And basically through the lower Dantian, we're imagining a golden pearl that's being created, right? So we can use bellows breath, we can use reverse breathing, we can even use our deep breathing just to channel in the chi energies and starting to imagine that we're creating a strong golden pearl in the bottom of the lower Dantian. Right, so if we were to see that little area in the navel, see if I can point to it here with the mouse, right in here within the navel. And we're just seeing this golden pearl being created through the breath that we're taking in. As we do that, we're going to imagine that we are opening up the perineum, okay, the area in between the genitals and the sphincter, all right? So you're basically just imagining that you're contracting that perineum and you're pushing that pearl down. So it's sitting right in between the genitals, okay? And then this is where we're going to start moving through the microcosmic orbit, okay? So you can do this seated, you can do this standing. I won't be able to demonstrate it because I don't think you guys are going to see me too well doing it. Basically, all we're doing is this pattern, okay? A simple circle in that way, okay? Or kind of a circle in that way. Well, a very important part is that we see that there are fire channels coming through here. So the Changqiang, the sacrum pump, okay? The Ming Men, the opposite navel, just on the opposite side of where the navel is. Qi Cheng, the adrenal pump, opposite of the solar plexus. The Gia-Pi, I think that's how you pronounce it, opposite of heart center. The Tao Chui, opposite of the throat center. The Yuguan cranial pump opposite of the Enya. So these are all like just pumps. They're basically pumping all this energy in. It's kind of like taking, the fire and all the smoke and all the energy, bringing it up and feeling like that hot air rising. And you're just feeling that this pearl is just going through this channel and moving up, right? Right up into around the area of the brow. A very important thing is that when you start moving this golden pearl up through your body, up to the spine, up to the top of the head, to the crown chakra, right up to about here. You're putting the tongue on the palate of on the top palate of your mouth, okay? So tongue on the roof of the mouth, and you're keeping it there. I just keep it there when I start doing the microcosmic orbit, right? So just like that. Just like when you look at a young baby, you open their mouth, you'll notice that their tongue is attached to the roof of their mouth, right? So that's a natural state. That connects the functional channel, governing channel together, or you can refer to it as the governor channel and the conception channel together, right? So it basically creates this loop. And then so we're going down through the pineal gland, down to the throat, the heart center, the solar plexus, back down to the lower Dantian. So it's kind of like it enters the belly button a little bit. and it goes down, and it moves down into the perineum once again. That is a full revolution of the microcosmic orbit, okay? And you're just doing it again and again and again. I would say do it for at least about 12 times, right? Just to start off with. And even if you're not too good at visualization, that's okay. Just really work on feeling. It's kind of like you can see this little oval circle here, and you're just imagining that that little golden pearl of energy is just moving up and down through the microcosmic orbit, okay? And again, doing that for a total of 12 times. Go slow at first. Don't feel like you have to go into hyperspeed here. But as you get good, I would certainly recommend going into hyperspeed, right? Because now you're getting all this energy, and it's just, it's like a particle dancing through a tube, right? And you're getting all this incredible energy coming together. I've just started to go into hyperspeed with the microcosmic orbit, or as I call it, hyper microcosmic orbit. And it's an incredible sensation. Your whole body just feels this incredible energy coming through the Danqian pearl, okay? So that is the microcosmic orbit. And again, we talked a little bit more about that in Reviving Ancient Mastery. But really, that's the entire process. It's just making sure you're keeping the tongue on the roof of your mouth. And again, when you're starting to begin, you're just contracting the perineum, contracting the sphincter, and just feeling that golden pearl sitting in the area of the perineum. And then you're just very slowly moving it up the sacrum, moving it up the spine, up through the lumbar, the thoracic, the cervical, and then up into the crown, down to the brow, making sure your tongue is up the palate of your mouth, moving it down again, and returning back into the perineum, doing it over and over again, okay? Very powerful exercise. What this is doing is this is actually collecting all of the energy within our body that we use for example, sexual energy practice. It's collecting energy through these channels, and it's circulating like a circuit through the entire body, and it's empowering these power nodes, these power channels that we have in the body, the Qi Cheng, the Ta Chui, Yui Gen, heart center, throat chakra, solar plexus, etc. All of these are getting this energy through this circuit, and then those are going to start supplying it to the entire body. And so your body is now getting a full, powerful charge of this refined Jing energy and Qi energy that's mixing together and repopulating your body entirely. It's an incredible feeling. Secondly, there is the macrocosmic orbit. So it's basically the same thing that I've just described. You're just starting again at the area of the perineum. You're moving up to the spine, up to the crown, down to the brow chakra. Again, having the tongue on the palate of the mouth, going all the way down. And when you reach the perineum again, you're now just going to the bottom of the legs. Okay, so the back of the legs here. Okay, going all the way down to the heel, right down to the center of the bottom of the foot, moving back up, front of the legs, front of the knee, front of the waist, okay? And then it's going through the perineum again, and then back up the spine. So basically this is a figure 8, okay? So again, I don't know if I can demonstrate it too well, but basically you're just running it up through the spine, going down to the perineum, and then again, it's like a figure 8. It's like a conjunction point in between the perineum. It's going down through the legs, up to the legs, joining again with the perineum, running up through the back again, okay? And so that's the macrocosmic orbit. That's actually stimulating a few extra centers within your body, okay? So going all the way down to the feet and then doing that. So I would suggest just working with the microcosmic orbit for a little bit first, and then when you feel you've done really well with the microcosmic orbit, you can move on to the macrocosmic orbit and doing the same thing, and you're creating that figure 8 pattern. And I did this last night as well too, on a hyper level. And oh my God, it was just a beautiful rush of energy. I was just sitting in bliss all evening, and I had so much creative energy flowing through me. I was doing a lot of work on the computer afterwards. So I have all this creative energy, man. I'm just doing all this work and do all this energy work, and now I'm feeling all this creative energy, and I just started creating away. So it was fantastic. So this is what I'd recommend. First, microcosmic, then macrocosmic orbit. It is incredible. Once you start getting the hang of this and you start doing this on a daily basis, incredible work. And again, this is used very commonly in Qigong practice. Okay, next is palm chakra activation. So we see the image here of the hand and a spiral there. That is actually going to be the process that we're going to be doing here very shortly. So the first thing we want to do with the palm chakra activation is, well, first, when we're working with the palm chakra, we're kind of like activating eyes in the center of our palms, right? So it's being able to scan, it's being able to feel energies with kind of like astral vision. This is why a lot of healers will kind of close their eyes, and it feels like their eyes are being transported into the center of the palms. And they're just moving through the body, and they can detect something right away, right? So they've basically been working on transferring a lot of that energy to the feeling centers of their palms, working on activations. So I've been doing palm chakra activations since around 2009 or 2010, around that time. So basically, the more we start to do this, the more that our hands are going to become much more sensitive to feeling the body energy of ourselves and with others. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is begin by rubbing both hands together to get the chi stimulated. Okay, so let's do that now. Do this for about 10 seconds. Okay, just kind of wriggle them out afterwards. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our right hand here, okay? So just like we see the right hand here in the image. So with the right hand, take the pinky finger of the left hand and imagine a thin, fine pointed beam of light project from the center of the pinky fingernail. Start from the center of the palm and slowly begin spiraling counterclockwise, a total of 10 loops. So this is not, they don't like doing this with the finger, right? I used to do that, and it works as well too. Basically, we're getting much more of a finer point of spiral so that we can create a larger spiral in the palm of the hand. Because usually when we're doing it like this, you can maybe going to get about 4 or 5 loops. So basically what we see in the picture here, we want about twice as many spirals. We want 10 loops. So it's kind of almost like looking at a little finely pointed laser. So we're taking the pinky, smallest finger on our hand, and we're just imagining a center point, just a small center point here, like a fine little thin laser, about as thin as a pen point in that way, right? And we're just starting at the very center, and we're just closing our eyes if we need to, or you can keep them open. And you're just slowly moving this laser counterclockwise and imagining, I can feel the energy as I'm doing this as well too, and just imagining that you are creating these loops, okay? So you're creating a total of 10 loops. God, this is, wow, intense. I'm actually seeing this little laser coming out and just tracing around my hands. It's very intense. 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? We can either stop at the top or at the bottom. Either way is fine. So we're basically just creating that little, pinpoint size laser. Just like it's being scribed onto our hands with that laser, right? So then we have it for a total of 10 loops. Great, okay? So after we do that, we're gonna repeat the same thing with the left palm, okay? So we're just taking the pinky finger again, connecting right to the center of the fingernail, imagining that little beam of light coming out, counterclockwise again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. After we do that, we're just going to hold them together in prayer position and just offer a loving blessing to this activation. So blessing to the energies, blessing to the palm chakras, blessing to my energies that will allow communication in the deepest levels of my body to become aware, with love, with blessings, with appreciation. So just doing a simple little blessing like that. Blessing your energy, blessing yourself, blessing your body. Okay. After you do that, we're going to basically just clap our hands together, right? So we're just going to clap them a total of 10 times. So we're just doing it like this. It's kind of almost like a golf clap. It's not like this, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. We've done that. Now we're basically in a state of activation. And we're just starting to, what we can do next that wasn't included in the presentation is you can start creating chi balls, okay? So just imagining the center point in the spiral, just like two laser points are coming together and a sphere is being created. And what you're doing is just starting to move the sphere around with your hands. You can shrink it, you can expand it, you can even imagine that there's color inside as well too, and just start to change the color patterns, or imagine that there's a small pearl inside the body, inside the bubble, and just start moving it around as well too, right? You can actually start to do this with the Dan Chins. It's a little bit more of an advanced exercise, but just start to experiment with chi balls, right? So that would be the thing that you would do after you do the activation of the palm chakras. Start creating these chi balls, start expanding them, start shrinking them down. Really, the important part is being able to feel their magnetism, feel the magnetic energy, the sensations that they give your hands. That's all we're basically doing here. You can certainly use chi balls for a majority of different things, but all we're doing here is just being able to activate them and feel these sensations coming together. If we feel that, okay, I can go a little bit further, okay, I can't really feel it too much, bring it a little bit closer just so you can feel it, right? So you're just getting that familiarity with the sensation of the magnetic pole that you've sensed through the palm chakras, okay? Do this every day, so if you can, or, I would recommend doing it every day until you really feel that your palms are able to sense energies very, very well. As you do it more and more, it just become natural to you and you won't need to do the activation anymore. You just feel that the palms are there. Again, when I was doing that little laser across my palm, I could feel it very, very intensely, right? So that's given the sign your palms are very, very sensitive and they're able to work with this energy. So one of the important things as well too that I want to mention is don't feel you have to overstimulate yourself if your body is already naturally sensitive, right? If you're already a very strong psychic instrument, you don't need to keep stimulating yourself with these activations, right? So if people that are watching this, if you feel that your palm chakras are already really strong, you probably won't even need to do this activation, right? This is just for people who are starting to become familiar with the palm chakras and feeling sensitivity around their hands, okay? And this is used for healing. This is used for self-scanning. This is, again, creating chi balls and being able to perform a lot of enhancements with yourself or with others as a healer. Okay, moving on. So looking into the Dan Chins. So the lower Dan Chin is the elixir field of Jing and Kundalini. It contains our prenatal chi and represents our vital body. It is refined using postnatal chi, which helps us to rejuvenate our vitality and sexual energy. So again, as talked about, if we're looking at two oceans, this is where the ocean starts right here in the lower Dan Chin. That is where the Jing and Kundalini are stored within our body. That is our prenatal chi. The middle Dan Chin is the elixir field of Qi. It contains emotional and intuitive energies. Our postnatal force becomes refined and stored in this Dan Chin. Okay, so when we start taking a lot of the Qi energies in, and we start working with the lower Dan Chin, we start working with the refining of the Jing, then basically a lot of that refined Jing energy is going to be compacted into the lower Dan Chin. And then the middle Dan Chin is going to receive, again, a lot of that fresh, refined Qi energy. So basically, lower Dan Chin is refined Jing energy, middle Dan Chin is refined Qi energy, right? And so we basically have those two particular blendings. So postnatal force representing that of Qi. Then we have the upper Dan Chin. The upper Dan Chin is the elixir field of Jing and Qi combined, known as Shen, or spirit energy. It contains spiritual intelligence and mental energy. Once Shen is cultivated through both refined middle and lower Dan Chin energies, the upper Dan Chin becomes the elixir for a developing spiritual immortal body. Okay, so basically we're taking all the refined energy of the lower Dan Chin, refined energy of the middle Dan Chin, we're blending them together, and we're creating the Shen energy. So it's kind of like this great state of inner alchemy, this brew that we're creating through both of the lower energies of Jing and Qi, and then creating Shen energy. And this is what creates the immortal body. So the immortal body is, again, this etheric consciousness that is growing inside of us, and we'll be talking about that in a minute. Basically, the Dan Chins in that sense are something that I've focused on a lot more now, rather than the chakra centers, right? So the chakra centers are important. They have a good energy to them, and they can be worked with and helping to be harmonized with. For someone who wants to continue to work with the chakra energies, they can go ahead and do so. I've decided to focus more on the Danqians because they represent the golden energy, and the golden energy is the purifier, right? So it's moving us past a very limited spectrum. If we're only looking at the rainbow spectrum, we're only looking at about 2.5% of what reality is actually. When we start working into the Danqians, we're actually looking into the 100% spectrum of reality. And so it's moving us more into an advanced degree of awareness, more than what the chakra centers can bring. So the chakra centers are important. Again, it's all part of our functioning into this spectrum, right? So we have these 7 chakra centers that are seals, and they keep us confined into this particular type of reality that represents the 5 senses, that represents everything that is connected to the rainbow energy. And it's important, so we definitely do need those. Basically, when we start working with the Danqian centers, this is what creates an integration and an activation with ourselves, with the golden energy. And now we're actually able to access a multitude of spectrums that are based throughout creation and bonding ourselves with this energy. So when you start working with the Danqians and you start working with these energy centers, or elixir fields, I should say, and you're basically being able to create an etheric body within yourself, you have a 100% spectrum body that is being developed, and you can go into all forms of dimensions that exist past the rainbow spectrum. So chakra centers and the rainbow body will allow you to explore other facets of dimensions that still exist within those rainbow confines, right? So basically, when you're going into the Danqians, you're experiencing a much more full out experience of 100% of the spectrum. It's a golden energy is the culmination of everything pure within the facets of creation, and we're experiencing that together. So it's a much more powerful journey, I would say, following with the Danqian centers rather than the chakra centers. Because you start focusing on this, you may start to notice how a lot of the chakra centers will actually divert a lot of their energies to these Danqian centers. And you're not doing chakra removal, you're basically doing chakra integration. So this is something I've had a conversation with Eric Rains, who was on the Reality Whisper webcast a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about this. And I was definitely in a lot of full agreement with what he was saying about moving past the chakra centers and coming more into the Danqians, coming more into the golden energy spectrum, as that is going to show 100% of our creational reality, and being able to take part in all sorts of different things that we can't do with just a rainbow body. Okay, spiritual immortality. There is no exact time when the spiritual immortal body is cultivated. As you continue to work on your inner self daily through techniques described here, over time you will notice the presence of another life within your body. This could be defined as spiritual pregnancy. So if we're going back into the story of the Yellow Emperor, who existed in China a great deal of time ago, and basically he had a lot of these concubines, and he would keep having sex with a lot of these concubines, but he would never ejaculate. He would basically hold his orgasm in. And he kept having all this sex, having orgasm after orgasm, until he actually became a golden being of light. And basically he was able to reach ascension into that point. And he was referred to again as the Yellow Emperor because people would see him with this golden yellowish haze behind his head as he got older. And then being able to notice that he disappeared, ascended in that way, through the idea of him cultivating this spiritual immortal body within himself, I should say. So a spiritual pregnancy can happen. I've met a couple of people who have their immortal body activated in that way. It's kind of like you're just feeling another life inside yourself. It's like a body within a body. It's kind of like those ancient figurines that you open up and then you see another figurine just like it inside. Well, it's kind of like that, right? So you're basically just kind of like opening yourself up and you're seeing this other life inside you. You can tune in, and it's almost like you can feel this etheric energy as like an embryo, right? So men and women can both get pregnant through spiritual immortality, right? And it basically is a very similar cycle to physical pregnancy. It usually takes anywhere from 9 to 10 months for that seed, once you're aware of it, to become cultivated and then starting to grow. But, excuse me guys, I have to take a glass of water here. Voice is starting to go. See, I don't talk that much when I'm when I'm basically here on my own. So doing this kind of long conversation is like, yeah, oh, okay, well, Brad's talking a lot. Better divert a lot of chi to him. Basically, in that sense, again, it's like this nurturing body. And so you are replenishing this energy with chi, with loving chi energy, right? So you're putting all this loving chi into the body of the spiritual immortal that is growing inside of yourself. So it has organs, it has a cellular network, it has a body just like yours. It's a replica, basically, but it functions together within the etheric planes. So what you're basically doing is that as you become pregnant and you start to work with the Shen energy, then you'll notice it's basically when we get up to Shen, right? If we're working with the lower Dan Shen and the Jing and then the Qi, and we're refining the Jing, or refining the Qi, then we're finally able to bring it up to the Shen. That's when we start to receive spiritual immortality, or the opportunity of bringing spiritual immortality in when we reach this top area, right? It's very unlikely that you'll start getting a pregnant spiritual body when you're still just starting at the foundation, which is really all where I really am. But just doing a lot of my research and talking to others who have had these spiritual immortal experiences, this has been what's shared, as well as what Adronis has conveyed to me as well. So working with Shen energy is the pathway to conceiving the spiritual immortal body. So spiritual pregnancy involves nurturing this body within you like a pregnant woman would her growing baby. So basically, it's not about mother's milk. The mother's milk in this way is love chi. It's actually being able to take all the love, all of everything that's pure and beautiful within ourselves, and putting it into our organs, and then being able to take that energy from the organs and transferring it into the organs of the immortal body. And so basically, when years pass, you have this growing life inside of you. That again is not confined to physical reality, but is basically kind of in a dual state in between realities, because you can communicate with it and you can actually teach it a lot of things, and it can teach you a lot of things. It can actually take you out of body and show you a lot of these different things as it gets older. It's not going to happen right away, but as it gets older and it starts to mature, it can pull you out of body and it can take you to these different areas, because you are linked together. It's like father and son, and then it just eventually becomes a convergence. So when this physical body passes away, you're transferring your consciousness to that immortal body, and you're immortal. You can do whatever you want. You can go to any dimension, you can go to any reality. This is not just a fourth density body. And some people may theorize that is this fourth density. No. It's all densities, because you're working with the golden spectrum. So you're being able to go to third density, fourth density, fifth density, sixth density, seventh density, etc. Right? So you can go through all these particular densities with this spiritual immortal body, right? And so you're just basically putting all of this renewed love energy into the etheric organs of this body. And basically what you're doing is you're taking your personality with you. When you go, when the physical body passes on, you're transferring your own consciousness, and your memories remain intact. You're no longer going off the wheel of karma. This is the advancement past karma, past the wheel of karma, past the wheel of space and the wheel of time. You basically leave that particular plane, and you can go and you can do whatever you want. You don't need life reviews, right? Because you're no longer tethered to this world altogether. So I know there might be some questions about that, but there's a lot of things to talk about with the immortal body. But it's really when we start to experience it ourselves that we'll get much more of an impression about it. So the sustenance for a growing spiritual immortal body is love, compassion, and healthy vitality. As your spiritual pregnancy grows, it will give birth to a new perspective within your life. This is the manifestation of a multi-dimensional body. This is why I put multi-dimensional, because it's not just the idea of fourth density. As you nourish your organs and body with love energy, you implant that very love energy into your immortal body in kind. Its entire etheric body becomes built through your own refined love force. Now, fully cultivating the spiritual immortal body can take anywhere from 19 to 50 years, depending upon the individual. If you're basically committed to doing this every single day, probably less than 20 years, then you can probably get something going. I'm currently developing certain things to see if there can be an acceleration. But again, I haven't experienced the immortal body yet. Really, a lot of my acceleration is working together in complementing the natural way. but going into an accelerative peak. It's kind of like, in my perspective, I'm kind of seeing it as slow tortoise learning that's natural, and then I'm basically turning it into a hare type learning, being able to culminate a lot of things that I've already discovered and not having to go backwards, not having to reinvent the wheel again as it relates to the tortoise-based learning. Sometimes that's looking into qigong and looking into the Tao, etc. A lot of great information in it, but it's a lot of stuff that I've already accumulated over the years. And then rather than being that slow tortoise that needs to go step by step by step by step, when I've already really been doing this for years, then what I'm doing is developing a hare system, right? So being able to still work the natural way, but going into much more of an accelerated way. When people have been able to do a lot of this kind of research themselves, their understanding of the energy body, that they don't need to go back to square one. They don't need to reinvent the wheel again. That's basically my intention. I'm not basically attempting to create a cheat. I'm basically attempting to create kind of a more of a smaller package in that sense that has a big effect that each of us can do. And that's a lot of what I'm here to do, is I'm basically diving into a lot of these complex systems and making them as simple as possible for myself and for everybody else. That's why I'm here on this planet, is to make things simple for people. So that's my mission. That's what I'm here to do. Okay, so that is spiritual immortality. Now, here is another fascinating technology that we're going to look at today. It's spiritual technology organ encryption. So basically what we're doing in this example today is we're going to be looking into encrypting one of the organs within our body and being able to bring only into it positive energy. So basically if negative energy tries to come in, it's getting blockaded, right? But it's basically important to maintain this energy, right? So we have to maintain this energy on a daily basis as well too. We need to put that energy of love into this encryption, and that organ will no longer be impacted by anything negative. It'll just basically bounce off like a shield, okay? So we're gonna get into that in a minute. So as the goal is to purify and refine the energy within our body, we can use certain energetic technologies that serve as encryptions to protect our organs from being compromised with negative energy. These involve working with visual and symbolic encryptions that we implant within the organs through our will and loving intent using astral technology or astral creations, like I was talking about in a previous webinar. There is also going to be a very large astral creations course that's going to be created through the Reality Whisperer library here in the next couple of months, and it's going to go through this entire process of working with astral creations and astral technology to completely encrypt the body so that you will not experience any more negative emotions ever again, as long as you're able to maintain this energy on a daily basis, supplying yourself with love. And as we're doing this, we're noticing that our life is just going to go a mile a minute with all these great opportunities, exciting things, exciting trends taking place, new manifestations coming together. It is possible for us to do that, to encrypt the body, making sure that only the energy that serves us comes together. But in order for us to do that first, we have to clear out any particular gunk that's in the organs, firstly, before we can apply the encryption, okay? So this is, again, just an image of looking into that example of encrypted energy into the physical body. And again, this can also work with the astral body, the etheric body, etc. These can all work together, different encryptions in that way, using astral technology, even at times light circuitry as well. So here is a sample of organ encryption, okay? So this is the kidney pentacle. So we're going to be working with the pentacle today, and this is just an example. Okay, this is not the idea of the only thing that you can do. But basically, I put this together, and this is something that we can work on together through the presentation today. So what we want to do is that, looking at the kidney pentacle here, kidneys are represented as a blue color and would feel cold in accordance to Taoism traditions. Envision this as you conjure this symbol in your mind. So we're going to be getting into this symbol here very shortly. So what we want to firstly do is let's focus on the kidneys. Let's become aware of their current state. If the kidneys are emotionally compromised, repeat the golden ball exercise again, ensuring your kidneys are clear, okay? And so we'll begin the kidney pentacle encryption exercise. So everybody, I just want you to feel your kidneys. Bring your arms down, your hands down, and just feel your kidneys right now. And just go ahead and close your eyes. And just start to massage them a little bit. just so that they can come into your awareness. If you want to use your knuckles or your fingers, either's fine. So we're just rubbing the kidneys and we're just becoming aware of them, okay? And using your eyes, I just want you to imagine that you're pointing your eyes down, like you're looking at your kidneys in through your body just by bringing your eyes down, okay? And I want you to bring your eyes down and to the left as you're looking into the left kidney, okay? And I just want you to look at it right now and just be aware of it. Okay? Now we're going to move our eyes down to the bottom and to the right. And we're going to be looking into the right kidney and just becoming aware of it. Just feeling it. Okay, so are you being conscientious about how your kidneys are feeling? Do they feel clear? And even if they don't feel clear, we're going to be doing the golden ball anyways. So, but we just want to be aware about their integrity, about how they're feeling right now, if there's any emotional tie-ins with that. Okay? So as I'm looking into my own kidneys right now, they're feeling pretty good. Yeah, no emotional states that I'm sensing. They can always be better, but they're feeling pretty good. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to manifest that golden ball of energy just as we did before. Okay? And we're basically going to put it in the direct center of where both of these kidneys are. And it's eventually going to create a mitosis. So basically what that means is a splitting. It'll turn into two particular spheres. What we want to do first is we just want to create this one golden ball of energy. So I just want you to imagine, you can place your hands back in front if you want. Just want you to imagine this golden ball of light, just as before, placed directly in the center between both kidneys. And I want you to go back into your perfect space again, going into the heart of this sphere and just putting all of that love, all of that joy, all of that beautiful energy. You're just filling it with everything. Just go into your most marvelous visions and your marvelous fantasies, your marvelous imagination. Bring it all together. And just putting all the most positive energy you can feel directly into this sphere. That you are eternal, that you are immortal, that you are everlasting, that you are the universe, that you are creation, that you can never die. You are purity. Your love creates worlds. It creates galaxies. It creates universes. That is how powerful you are. And you are made out of the substance of love. It is your nature. And just feel all this loving energy coming into the golden sphere. And this really helps by smiling. Just a lot of smiling. Smile, smile, smile. And you're just feeling that golden ball now getting brighter and brighter, stronger and stronger. And this time around, I just want you to feel between 0 to 10 how this ball is feeling. So 0 means that there's no love within this ball at all. 10 being this ball is filled with love. What would you feel it would be on the scale? Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the kidneys and we're just going to look at that through a scale as well too, a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being that there's absolutely no emotional energy tied to the kidneys whatsoever. 10 being that there is a lot of intense emotional energy within the kidneys. How would you rank that on a scale of 0 to 10? Mine would basically be about a 2. As I'm looking back into my ball of energy now, I'm saying it's about a 9 to 9.5. So that's good. That's all we need to do. As long as your golden ball is equal to or greater than the distortion the distortion of emotional energy within that organ, then you're fine. You're good to go. Okay. So I just want you to imagine that you're just taking that golden ball of energy, and again, you're just placing it in the center point in between those two kidneys. Okay. And you're just imagining that it's just kind of floating there in that way. Okay, so as we've done that, we're now going to see that golden ball of energy split into two. Okay? So a mitosis, it's basically a splitting of the golden ball. Now we're going to be seeing two tethers coming out through the golden ball, connecting directly with the kidneys. Okay? And now again, we're just putting all of that positive energy, flowing it into the kidneys. So if the kidneys represent a natural blue energy, we're now putting this golden energy into it because gold is compatible with everything. Okay? So we're just putting all of that golden energy, feeling it flowing into our kidneys, smile, love, joy, and happiness and appreciation. Just breathe it in, breathe it out. Just feel that energy, that positive energy coming together and just being brought directly into the kidneys. And as that positive energy is coming in together, it's transmuting any particular negative energy within the kidneys itself. So if there's been some debris contained in the kidneys, as soon as we're putting this golden energy in it, it's overtaking it. Okay? And it's transforming itself into positive energy. What we did in the last golden ball exercise is we extracted the negative energy and put that into the ball, and then the ball took care of it itself. That's because we may not have been working on an organ. But basically, the organ itself represents a storage area, right? So we're putting all this golden energy into storage. And it's again like the positive energy is just overtaking the negative, okay? So continuous love, continuous joy, continuous appreciation being felt through both of the kidneys, through the twin organs. And just feel that positive energy, all of it coming into the kidneys. And once you feel that all of that energy has been in, again, you can touch the back of your kidneys if you want, or you can just basically see it like this, and just placing the hands together and just imagining that both of those remains of the golden energy are being placed inside the kidney centers. And you're just creating a prayer posture here and just giving a blessing to your kidneys, giving a blessing to yourself, giving a blessing to your energies. Just a simple I love you will do it just fine as well. Okay. After we do that, we're just going to be doing a little technique here, which is referred to in Qigong as Shaogong. So this is basically, if I was to step up here, I'll have to squat down so you guys can see me. So we're basically taking our arms, placing it just above our head here, and moving it down, okay? Just until we get into the lower Dan Chin. And we just hold it there for about 3 seconds, then we can withdraw, okay? So you're basically just taking the hands up, moving it down to the body, all the way down to the lower Dan Chin. Hold it there for 3 seconds. And this is just clearing the body. This is letting everything go. It's basically what it means, is to let go of, right? To release. So you're just basically letting all the energies sink down to the lower Dan Chin. Okay, so the next step is that we're going to go ahead and put the kidney pentacle into both of the kidneys as well too, okay? So if you guys do want a copy of this kidney pentacle, I mean, it's very simple to use. I mean, all you're doing is just taking a pentacle and turning it blue in that way. Basically, if you want to get a copy of it, you can find it on Google Images, make it blue in that way, or just see it within your mind as well too. It's very, very simple. So basically, I just want you to close your eyes right now. And now you're just imagining that you're holding up this pentacle within your hands. Okay? And you're feeling it blue. You're feeling it as a cold yin energy. It's not a scary cold, but it's a good cold. It's a loving cold. Okay? As in Chinese medicine traditions, the kidneys represent a cold energy. And they're colored blue. So that's what we're reflecting here. And that the kidneys will be protected and encrypted by the power of the 5 elements, which is where we're using some magic into this energy as well too, through the encryption. Now, basically, you can will this just through your mind, or if you want to, draw out the pentacle. you can do that as well. Okay, and you're just filling it as blue and cold. That's all you're doing. And now we're just putting the intention in through the 5 elements, and we're just going to state the following. With the power of air, may this energy protect my kidneys. With the power of water, may this energy protect my kidneys. With the power of fire, may this energy protect my kidneys. With the power of earth, may this energy protect my kidneys. And with the power of divine spirit, may this energy protect my kidneys. Okay? And we're just fusing that together now. And we're putting all of our love, our appreciation, and our joy into this pentacle. It is filled with the loving vibration of our love, of our appreciation, of our higher vibratory frequency. And I just want you to imagine right now that both of your kidneys are being shown like in the background. You can't really envision that, then just feel that both of the kidneys, their energy is in the background with this pentacle. And you're just feeling that energy with them, and you're just telling these kidneys, this is going to be your love vibration protection. Only love vibration that is equal to the love that I feel for you right now will be able to enter you, preventing any negative, lower vibrational energies from entering the kidneys. Okay, so you're just stating that. And again, just giving a blessing. Blessing to the symbol, blessing to the kidneys, blessing to yourself, blessing to your energies. I love you. Okay, so what we can do now is as we feel that pentacle within our hands, we can again stand up. It's usually the best way to do it. It's just to stand up here. Okay, and you're just imagining you're placing that pentacle directly into the right kidney. And you're just feeling that pentacle bonding together with the right kidney. Sending it your love and sealing it with love as well. So again, you can lock it just like before, or again, just take your thumb if you want and just spiral counterclockwise loop. Hand upon it, seal. Okay. And we're doing the same thing with the other side. Okay, creating another pentacle in our hand, placing it directly into the left kidney, feeling it enter the kidney. It's almost like looking at a branded symbol upon the kidney, although we're not using a hot branding iron, but we're using an energy branding iron. And we're branding this blue, cold pentacle onto both of our kidneys. And this is encrypting it. Okay, so then again, we seal it just like this, or you take the thumb, counterclockwise spiral, seal. Okay. Okay. That's it. You did it. So that is how we are encrypting the organs. So basically, we're keeping track of that pentacle each and every day, right? So what we're doing is that, let's say it's the next day, we're just going into meditation. We're envisioning our 2 kidneys, and we're seeing the branding of that blue cold pentacle in the kidneys. And we're sending it more love each and every day. Okay, so love to my kidneys, right? Sending that love all together. So that is just a sample of the organ encryption. This is what we're going to be looking into next month with body encryption. There's going to be different types of encryptions that we're going to be looking at in regards to cellular encryption, in regards to, again, the other organs of encryption, looking into astral body encryption, looking into environmental encryption as well, too. So we're going to go very deep into this kind of advanced astral creations, advanced light circuitry, and body encryption presentation. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that will be for next month. So this will move us into Q&A now. So questions regarding this presentation can be shared in 2 ways. You can post a question to the questions tab, or click the raise hand button if you would like to share a question on video and microphone. Okay, so I'm going to end the presentation here and come right back. All right, wow. We're almost 2 hours, guys. That's fantastic. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and get into any questions that you guys have. Okay, we do have one raised hand, so I'm going to take Joanne's question first. Joanne, I'm just going to promote you to panelist, and then you'll be on here in a minute. And hello, Joanne. Do you have a question? You can just unmute your microphone.
Hi, that was excellent. Thank you very, very much.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, a couple of questions about incorporating these practices. Now, all bodily functions use energy. Are there any approximate timelines we need to respect about how long to wait before starting them, say after eating? Because obviously digestion uses quite a bit of energy. I thought maybe about 20 minutes to half an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, do you have to, sometimes with certain Qigong practices, do you need to avoid using the toilet after any of these energies to allow the Qi to be absorbed?
Yeah, you're very much on point.
Guidelines about that.
Yeah,
and also one final question. I'm going to give three, then you can just do them in any order. With the water, I'm assuming that it's okay to include not beverages like herbal tea and green tea as part of your suggested amount, in addition to drinking, obviously, water. But it's not, if you know what I'm saying, it can be part of that.
Okay, well, let's go back to the first question as it relates to eating. Yeah, so you want to give yourself, I would say, give yourself about a good 2 hours.
2?
Yeah, about 2 hours. Just because your body is going to that full processing, and it's kind of like there's a bit of a rest time in between as well, too. Right. So basically, if you're having, let's say, breakfast at 7 a.m., but you got the day free, then start ahead at 9 o'clock, right? And then you can start looking into these. The same thing in regards to going to the bathroom to urinate. Now, basically, urinate can represent leakages within the body. Defecation can do that as well, too. Yeah. So basically, it's important that when we're doing these exercises, that we're basically not having to go to the bathroom 1 hour after doing these exercises. We don't want to create leakages within the Qi as well, too. Okay. And the third one, I think you said, was about green tea?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in regards to not drinking it, is that what you're saying?
No, incorporate. In other words, you were suggesting 8 to 10 glasses of pure spring water.
Right.
As part of that, using green tea and herbal tea as part of it.
Yeah,
obviously. Yeah, so that's part of it.
Yeah, that's all part of it. Like I drink tea every now and then. I don't drink it every day, but I'll incorporate tea as well too. Like actually I have lattes quite a bit too. But as long as you're getting your 8 to 10 glasses of intake.
Yeah, you're getting the, And also with these exercises, I'm assuming that because it's just a matter of just respecting the body and the needs to go to the bathroom periodically. Yeah. I'm assuming the breathing exercises are not quite the same thing as Qi collection. They're related, but I'm assuming
deep breathing is a little bit different. It's helping to oxygenate the entire.
Yeah, so that would be okay. Yeah, but it's just if you allow a reasonable amount of time between eating and going to the bathroom to allow the Qi to.
Yeah. Qi cultivation.
Might not wait full 2 hours, but definitely allow time.
Yes, exactly. I mean, Qi cultivation is basically condensing energy into the lower Dan Shan, so it requires a lot of focus in that way. Yeah. So basically, like I was talking about with the reverse breathing, so when you're doing it the other way, it's like an accordion that's squeezing together, and you're creating a tight funnel so that it's actually diverting itself directly into the lower Dan Shan. Yeah. That's a lot different than just general deep breathing because that's oxygenating the entire of your body. Yeah. So it's when there's a focal point in that sense, that's your energy cultivation work.
Yeah. No, I found that doing the reverse breathing with microcosmic orbit was very beneficial.
It is, yeah.
I do that every day for about 15 minutes. But I've been doing this for a long time. And it's obviously something you build up to. But I do find that's very, very, it removes any, basically it keeps the Qi flowing throughout the body and removes energy blockages.
Okay, great. Are you working with the Shin energy now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Then you're on your way.
Every little bit helps. Thank you.
Okay, great. No problem. Thank you, John. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and move on into questions since we have that. Sorry, guys, I'll just be 1 second here. Okay, so we're going to go to Q&A here. We have first question here from Dana. Dana asks, how does this fit with the Merkaba? Okay, well, the Merkaba is basically what's known as the spirit light body vessel in that way. Now, the Merkaba basically can be used in any particular way that you wish. Now, basically, if you're referring to like some type of meditation that you can do, with the Merkaba vessel, it can be done as well too. But basically what we're doing here is we're actually looking into specific chi cultivation techniques and helping to balance the body. Now, when we're looking into the Merkaba in that sense, that can be like looking into the entirety, the completion of our body. We can look at it into the ideas of the divine masculine and divine feminine. So there's a little bit of a difference relating to what we're talking about here, and being able to work with prenatal chi and postnatal chi, and then moving it up, taking the refined Jing and putting it together and refining that, refining the chi, refining, and then putting up the energies of the Shin. So it's a little bit different in regards to construct, but being able to work with the Merkaba body and that Merkaba light body in that sense can be something that really helps to balance out your energies, right? So if you're looking for a full energy balancer, and let's say you have a Merkaba vessel and you're spinning the top portion and the bottom portion, top portion is say going counterclockwise, bottom portion is going clockwise, and you're creating that type of spin, you're managing your entire energy body in that way. So basically the Merkaba would work more to the other of a totality, of an entirety, whereas basically what we're talking about more here are certain portions of the body that can help to be energized in that way. But absolutely, I mean, I still use the Merkaba on occasion, and I've even created the Merkaba meditation series. It has powerful effects, but again, it's working on the totality of your body, governing all those energies together as full-out channels. Okay, so hopefully that answered your question. Okay, Dana asks, how is the current energy enhancing these processes? Okay, well, depends what you mean by current energy. The whole idea is that we're taking energy that we did not know we had and being able to release it from dormancy and being able to move it into the body. When you're basically just going through a typical day and you don't realize that you're missing the opportunity to connect to this reservoir of energy, then what we're doing is that we're going by through the Jing energy, right? So the current energy could just be the idea of your natural Jing energy powering all the vitality of your body, right? So current energy, not being aware of this, is basically what's causing a lot of drain. Because what a lot of us will do on a daily basis is that we'll think ourselves almost to death. We'll go through overthinking. We'll go through so much heavy processes, and our current energy system gets exhausted with all these processes that we do. Maybe we overeat a lot, or we drink a lot of junk drinks, we eat a lot of junk food, we put our chi towards other things that do not serve us, and this is completely draining us. This is why, again, certain people feel that they have no energy during the day, because there's so much of these processes that they're doing on a daily basis with their current energy that they just feel depleted. They don't want to move, right? So what we're doing here is we're being able to enhance our own energy by tapping into the natural energy centers within our body. So through the breath, through healthy eating, through healthy drinking, right? Through going out into nature, absorbing a lot of the energy there. Sun gazing as well too, which is a very powerful one, right? Being able to, at sunrise and sunset, being able to gaze at the sun, and that gives you a tremendous boost. In fact, if people want to work with clairvoyance, I would say go right into sun gazing. That's something that can really boost you up strongly. And so you're just starting from a few seconds a day to a few minutes eventually. Once you get to that point where you start to get good at sun gazing, and that is cultivating a lot of chi, replenishing a lot of energy within your body. It's a complete purifier, and it's bringing a lot of fresh chi into your body, right? So the key here is that we're taking a lot of the natural energies that exist within our body, taking them out of dormancy and activating them and utilizing them through our body, so that we're getting a lot more vitality, a lot more increase of daily life trials, so to speak. We're getting a lot of energy coming through. We're empowering our organs. We're empowering our cellular system, our digestive system. We're getting a lot more creative energy, a lot more love energy. Our memory is improving. There's so much that's being done. And also, it's helping out with longevity. So this is basically how we're taking that current energy and advancing it to enhance through these processes. Okay? I hope that answered your question, Dana. Okay, Rose has a question. How does a vasectomy affect the release of chi? Does that stop the release of vital force? I've never had a vasectomy, so I really couldn't tell you. Basically, there's a blockage. I guess you could say like a block, almost like a clamp in that sense, that would prevent it in that way, or try and prevent the aspect of orgasm. But there have been occasions where people have actually still been able to get a woman pregnant, even though they had a vasectomy in that way. So it's not a perfect system in that way. Really, the whole idea is that that tries to be an artificial means of trying to prevent ejaculation from coming out in that way. Really doesn't have to go to that particular state of extreme. So basically with the vasectomy, it's basically trying to create like a, like a clamp there, or like an alternative canal, I guess. So really in that sense, I would never recommend a person having to get that. Basically, it's just all about being able to train your mind. It could even have some backlashes as it relates to leakages as well too. The human body is not meant to be reconfigured in that way. So that's not to say that there couldn't be clumps or clots that may actually come together within the sexual reproductive system that could cause some difficulty afterwards. Again, I would suggest maybe talking to a Qigong master about that. But my feeling overall, intuitively, is that this can create some chaos in between the integrity of the sexual energy, creating clots or creating clumps, and sexual reproductive blockages in that way. And again, even some leakages at times. So it's be very aware about those things. Okay. Okay, Dana asks, I mean in reference to the higher frequencies around the planet. Well, higher frequencies, again, is just energy, Dana. That's the whole thing, is that when we're working with higher frequencies and that stuff like that, we're not getting more energy being brought upon the planet. That's not really what's happening. We're lifting ourselves into higher octaves of reality. So basically, we have all these platforms of Earth, right? So we're moving ourselves up the ladder into these higher transformational platforms that will move us into higher frequencies of vibration. But it's not that the Earth is getting much more energy than she can handle, right? She represents a 100% energy structure. That energy will always be there. When you're moving into higher vibrational frequencies together, there's still chi that applies to it. There's still your jing that applies to it. There's still the shen that applies to it, right? So basically, you're adapting yourself to move more into higher frequency by applying a lot of these transformations with your own body energy and the energy of nature around you to move you further into higher vibratory energies, right? So if you're looking into the reference of higher frequencies around the planet, it's not so much about higher frequencies around the planet. Those higher frequencies have always existed. It's the idea that you're moving yourself up into the higher frequencies through your own intentions, through you working upon your body, you elevating yourself, you being able to take in a lot of these particular energies, transforming them, and moving yourself into the parallel connection to become part of those planes, right? Higher frequency has always existed on this planet. Lower frequency has always existed upon this planet. Those are the platforms that we exist in, right? So it's not basically looking at a difference when you're putting higher frequency into this. It's the idea that you're becoming higher frequency itself to match the environment, the reality that you prefer, to allowing that to come together. But we're not getting more energy as it relates to higher frequency. We're basically purifying ourselves so that we're naturally moving into these higher plateaus of levels of energy. That's basically what's happening right now, is refining ourselves. We're not looking to change the outside. Okay? Hope that helps you. Okay, great. So we're going to move on with Rose here, if it has already been done. Sorry, I don't know what that question entails. Okay, I think that's it. Does anybody else have any other questions that they want to share? Other through attendees, if you guys want to raise your hands, or if there's any other questions in Q&A. Or is everybody good? Okay, well, it sounds like everybody is good. So we have gone pretty much over 2 hours right now, so we'll go ahead and conclude. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Oh, hang on, we got one more question here. All right. Okay, Rose was saying it was referring to the vasectomy that has already been done. Okay, so if a vasectomy has already been done. Well, again, like I said, I guess the best way to do is to experiment with these energies with a person that has a vasectomy, and just being able to experiment with this, because again, I don't have a 100% answer for them right now. I'd probably have to talk to the person, maybe scan their energy field and get an impression. But I would say continue to use these techniques as they can. Basically, they may say that a vasectomy may be reversible, but I know they say they never recommend it. But that's always a possibility as well. But it's all up to the person. If the person feels that they want to keep this vasectomy and they still want to work with sexual energy, they can still have orgasms. So being able to work with that in the body. The only thing that would be a concern would just be the idea of leakages or clots or blockages, as basically stated, all right? But I would need to talk to the person and get an impression about their energy to answer their questions any further, okay? All right, thank you, Rose, and thank you everybody else for all the great questions today. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I look forward to speaking to you all next month as we'll be looking into body encryption. So thank you so much. Take care, everybody, and I'll talk to you again in another perspective of the now. Take care. Namaste.